Taylor Chocolate founders Adam Dick and Dustin Taylor can trace their product from bean to bar.
Really anywhere around the world within 20 degrees north and south of the equator, so that tropical belt is where cacao comes from.
What's inside there is the nib, or the meat part of the bean.
Our raw ingredients we cannot grow in the United States, so everything really has to be imported from a long ways away.
Our Madagascar is from a single estate that's owned by Bertil Ackeson. We know everybody's name. We know exactly where all these beans are coming from. It's a very transparent time right now in knowing where your food comes from, where the cacao comes from, and so we're very proud of that and try to highlight that as much as possible.
A nonprofit was formed to work with local Mayan farmers in the Toledo district of Belize. Very small shareholder farms, very poor, and that origin from Belize. We were one of the first chocolate makers ever to win an award for that.
If you see what farmers make on just commodity, it's like nothing. You know, it's not enough to sustain a family. And so if we can pay our farmers and pay everybody along the way more, then it's a much more sustainable system.
But economic sustainability is just one piece of the candy bar. Ethical sourcing is also about protecting the environment.
You cannot grow cacao as a monoculture, which obviously more closely mimics what would be naturally going on in the jungle. They're putting in all kinds of monoculture crops that are not great for the land. And the reason why they're doing it is because the large-scale chocolate manufacturers are paying such low prices for cacao that it's not sustainable.
And beyond the fair price, the local elements of the boutique chocolate factory also have an eye for the green.
One of our main byproducts is the cacao husk. And so we sell those bags as garden mulch. They still get by weekly with just one of the standard city gray trash bins. So we really try to minimize, the amount of stuff that we're just throwing out the back.
Even when it's mixed with dark chocolate, green is universal. In Eureka, Sierra Ferguson, News Channel 3. Protecting our oceans and the animals that call the water home may seem like an incredible task, but there are simple ways to be a good neighbor for marine mammals.
Human beings, since we are responsible for the majority of the reasons that these animals have problems, it's a passion of mine to try and do everything we can to try and counterbalance that.
Karen Helms is the executive director of the North Coast Marine Mammal Center in Crescent City.
We rescue and rehabilitate marine mammals, mostly seals and sea lions.
Like elephant seal pups, pickles, and freet, deep-sea creatures capable of diving up to 1,000 feet below the surface.
Rehabilitate them, get them back to health, and then release them back out into the wild.
How do these animals end up in need of critical care?
With the harbor seal pups, a lot of times it's dog attacks on the beach. Probably the number one thing is that people will approach animals. Like if you see a harbor seal pup, people think that it's been abandoned because mom's nowhere around. Well, it has not been abandoned. They are born on the beach. Mom leaves them for sometimes hours at a time to go forage for food.
So what can you do?
You need to stay several hundred feet away as part of the Marine Mammal Protection Act. It is illegal to approach a marine mammal, and you can be fined up to $10,000.
That's not to say if you see something, you shouldn't say something.
Help us watch out for these animals. If you see anything, if you see loose dogs on the beach trying to find the owner, if you see an animal that has been entangled in fishing gear, that's another reason we see animals pretty regularly. Call us so we can go out and take the appropriate steps to make sure that they're safe.
Another way that you can be a good steward for our oceans is to use this, the recycling bin.
They get their heads through handles on a grocery sack and they grow. The bag doesn't grow with them and it starts cutting into their necks. Taking the trash that you bring to the beach out with you.
Be conscious of that trash too, because National Geographic estimates more than 5 trillion pieces of plastic trash have already ended up in our oceans.
In ecology, it's all connected. If one species disappears, it causes an imbalance that can create a huge impact on the environment. It is in your backyard. You may not have seen anything come of it yet to your eye, but you will. It's just a matter of time.
Remember, green is universal, and change, even if it's just in the ways you visit the beach, can be as easy as it is impactful. In Crescent City, Sierra Ferguson, News Channel 3. Monica, Humboldt County ranks as one of the top 10 most expensive places to rent a home in the country. That paired with the fact that the median household income is $20,000 less than anywhere else in the state has a direct impact on our kids. It's estimated that about 1,000 children between kindergarten and 12th grade are homeless.
I think we can all see a child and really view somebody who's made no mistakes and is just living their life the best they can and learning the best they can. And I mean, I'm a mom myself, so when I see families and I know that maybe that kid doesn't have food when they get home, that's just a horrifying prospect.
And food insecurity is very real. 56% of children in Humboldt County qualify and rely on free and reduced lunch programs at school.
A little over 10,000 kids attending schools here in Humboldt County are eligible to receive free and reduced price meals. That rate has steadily increased over like the last 5 years. It's been traditional that they can get a breakfast meal or a lunch meal at the school site, but now we have about 15 schools in Humboldt County who are now offering a supper meal. So kids who are attending the after-school program or even kids in the community can come over and eat a supper meal at that particular school site.
But feeding children in the area is just the first step.
We're looking at ways to where we can kind of eliminate that potential for stigma. Most of these kids who are receiving these meals, they're coming from families where both parents are working.
Acting as an equalizer, a new national program called the Community Eligibility Provision is granting schools money to provide free meals to all of their students.
Well, come this next school year, we have about 17 schools who are eligible to apply and put that in place. And if they choose to do that, then they will be offering all meals to students at no cost. You have to eat well to learn well.
If you're looking for a way to make a difference, Red Noses are on sale now at Walgreens. Now that money will be put towards supporting children's charities to end child poverty. Remember, buying a red nose makes a difference, but wearing a red nose makes an impact. All right, everyone, nose is on.